I never thought moving in with Nathan would feel like one of those indie flicks. Soft lighting, slow pans, the kind of quiet beauty that hides little cracks under fresh paint. The day after graduation, when he showed up at my parents' bookstore with 2 small suitcases, I hugged him so hard I figured everything would just snap into place. We found this cheap loft in Brooklyn. Exposed brick, big windows overlooking the chaotic street below. It was our first real home, the spot where Nathan could wake up next to a guy like me without worrying about someone judging him for it. But freedom, turns out, isn't always as sweet as it looks on screen. Nathan had left Boston, left his family, and they answered by cutting him off completely. No more monthly checks, no more check-in calls, just cold silence. He tried to hide it, but I saw it clear as day. Those nights he'd sit at the kitchen table staring at utility bills, eyes glazing over with worry. I've never had to handle all this on my own, he whispered one evening, curled up on the couch with me. I pulled him closer, kissed his forehead. You'll get the hang of it, Nate. We've got each other. I'm the eternal optimist, the classic New York guy with energy for days, so I dragged him into my world. Introduced him to my indie film crew, low-budget stuff shot on iPhones, edited in coffee shops. We jumped on a short film about street life. I assisted the director. Nathan helped with the script. He was shy at first, hanging back with that bashful smile, but then he started blooming. I remember him under the neon glow of a bar, pencil in hand, scribbling away while I filmed. You're really good at this, babe, I said, leaning down to kiss the back of his neck. He blushed but didn't pull away anymore. Those moments made me feel like we were building something solid. Of course, not everything was smooth. Nathan had bad days when the ghosts from Boston crept back in. He'd lost that protective shell. No rich family safety net. No perfect son expectations. One afternoon after wrapping a shoot, we were walking through the park hand in hand. He stopped, looked at me with those deep eyes. Leo, I'm scared. What if I crash and burn here? What if I've got nothing? I squeezed his hand tight. Then we'll crash together and get back up. But you know what, Nate? Living your truth isn't just about my love. You gotta find your own voice, in film, in life. He nodded, and we went home, tangled up under the warm blankets. But I didn't realize those old cracks from his family were still seeping in, waiting to burst. A few weeks after Nathan started settling into the New York rhythm, the past started knocking again. Not loud, just missed calls from Boston numbers, letters forwarded to our new address in his mom's elegant handwriting. I vaguely remembered something he'd mentioned late one night, tangled up and sleepless. Claire, his little sister, still texted him secretly, hiding it from their parents. She was the only one keeping that thin line open. Maybe, reluctantly, she'd given his mom our address. I tried not to pry, but one night while he was showering, I spotted an open letter on the table. It gut-punched me. Son, we hope you'll reconsider. That life isn't for you. I worried because Nathan was carrying way too much inside, but he chose silence, burying himself in work. Little tensions started bubbling. I wanted him to confront it, call them out. He'd just shake his head. Not yet, Leo. We were learning that being together was only step one. Really getting each other's pain was the real challenge. Living with Nathan was like having this gorgeous soundtrack with a faint static you try to ignore by turning up the volume. We got into the Brooklyn groove. Morning coffee at the corner spot, afternoons editing scripts at our messy table, evenings sprawled on the couch watching old movies and laughing till our sides hurt. I loved when he'd laugh freely, head on my shoulder, fingers laced like he was afraid I'd vanish. But then the old cracks started leaking. It began with the missed calls, his phone buzzing on the table, mom flashing on the screen, or some familiar Boston number. He'd glance for a second, flip it over, keep typing like nothing happened. I didn't push right away, just watched. Some nights he'd wake up, sit by the window staring into the dark street, eyes wide like he was seeing ghosts. Then the letters. One drizzly evening, Nathan was pulling an extra shift at the bar nearby to make ends meet. I was home alone, tidying his desk for a USB drive. Buried in papers was a white envelope, already opened. His mom's perfect handwriting. I knew I shouldn't, but I read it. My dear son, we're still waiting for you to come to your senses. The life you're choosing isn't real. That person is just taking advantage of you while you're lost. Come home, we'll forget everything and start over. The internship is still waiting. Emily asks about you all the time. Don't let fleeting emotions ruin your future. My chest tightened. Not from the digs at me, I'd heard worse, but because I knew it was eating him up inside. I put it back, but my mind was spinning. When he got home, soaked and exhausted, I couldn't hold it in. I handed him the letter. Nate, you read this? He stared at the envelope, face going pale. Yeah. Last week. Why didn't you tell me? He sank into the chair, hands in his hair. What good would it do? You want me to call and fight? Or burn it and pretend it doesn't exist? I knelt in front of him, took his hands. I want you to share it with me. We're a team, babe. You don't have to carry this alone anymore. But he shook his head, voice small but firm. Leo, you don't get it. Every time I think about calling, I'm 18 again, standing in the living room while Dad calls me a disappointment. I'm not ready to face that yet. I wanted to tell him silence just makes it worse, that we're strong enough together. But I swallowed it, just held him. Pushing too hard would make him shut down. After that, the little frictions crept in. I'd want to act. Text them to stop the letters at least. Nathan buried himself deeper. Writing scripts till 3 a.m., taking extra freelance gigs. Like if he stayed busy enough, the past couldn't catch up. Some nights I'd wake to find him at the laptop, blue light on his tired face, eyes red. I'd come up behind him, wrap my arms around. Working hard. Huh? He'd snap it shut quick. New idea. Doc about people trying to reconcile with family. I kissed his hair. Sounds good. Tell me about it. He just gave a sad smile. Not ready yet. Too early. It hit me hard. Being together is just the start. Understanding each other's deepest hurts, without judging, without rushing to fix, is the real work. Nathan called the project Reflection. Simple title, but when he pitched it to me, I knew it was heavy. I want to give voice to young people like me, he said, eyes lighting up rare. Ones who walked away but still carry the scars. Trying to heal with family or learning to live without their approval. Let them speak. We dove in. I handled camera and editing. Nathan wrote questions and found subjects. Old gear, natural light, nothing fancy. It had to feel real. First interview, Maya in Queens. Kicked out when she came out. Her voice shook recounting her mom throwing her suitcase out the door, but she smiled talking about friends who took her in. Nathan sat across, taking notes, but I saw his hands tremble. Next, Alex from Connecticut. Rich family like Nathan's. Cut off, told relatives he was studying abroad. He spoke calmly, but when Nathan asked, "Do you ever want to call home?" Alex went quiet forever. Then, every day. But I'm scared I'd cave and go back to being their good boy. I glanced at Nathan. He looked down, scribbling, but I knew he saw himself. Then Ryan, 27, from a Boston suburb, wealthy, conservative, all that success pressure. Cut off after coming out. Eerily like Nathan. But Ryan hadn't found his way out. Crappy apartment, part-time jobs, drinking too much. When Nathan asked if he regretted living openly, Ryan gave a bitter laugh. No regrets, but some nights I wish I'd never said it. At least in the closet, I had a home to go back to. Nathan went quiet the rest of the interview. After Ryan left, he sat gripping the mic. Eyes wet. I turned off the camera, sat beside him. Nate, don't, he whispered. Not okay. That night he didn't sleep. I lay there listening to his sighs in the dark. Next morning, I need a day off. No shooting, no writing, nothing. I nodded, didn't push. But when he went out walking alone in the rain, I knew Reflection wasn't just a project anymore. It was a mirror for Nathan, and his cracks were splitting wide open. We screened a rough cut of Reflection at a small festival in Manhattan. In the crowd, Nathan spotted his sister, the only family member who'd quietly supported him. She came alone, with news that froze him. Their dad was seriously ill, stage 3 cancer, but still stubborn, never mentioning Nathan once. Nathan stood at a crossroads. Keep building this new life in New York or go back to Boston one last time, for closure for himself. The screening was in this tiny theater in the Lower East Side, creaky seats, lingering popcorn smell. We invited a handful friends, indie filmmakers, some subjects seeing themselves big screen for the first time. I handed out flyers at the door while Nathan sat in the back row, hands clasped tight like praying. Rough cut. No full score yet, but it hit hard. When Ryan's scene came, worn face under fluorescent light, voice rough from booze and loneliness, the room went dead silent. I glanced at Nathan, head down, shoulders shaking a little. I wanted to run back and hold him right there, but I just clenched my fists. Lights up. Sparse applause building to real cheers. People came up congratulating, asking questions. I smiled, thanked them, but kept scanning for Nathan. He was in the corner talking to someone with their back to me. Then she turned. Claire, Nathan's sister. I'd only seen her once in old family photos, pigtails and private school uniform. Now older, short silver-dyed hair, leather jacket, beat-up boots. But those eyes, deep and sad, pure Nathan. He froze. I hurried over, hand on his back to remind him I'm here. Claire? His voice cracked. She smiled, eyes red. I came alone. Watched the film. It's amazing, bro. They hugged in the thinning crowd, tight like letting go would mean years lost again. I gave them space, heart pounding. We hit a quiet bar nearby. Claire ordered beer, Nathan water, me something strong. I knew heavy shit was coming. I got the address from an old school friend. She said low. Didn't tell mom and dad. They're still the same. Nathan nodded, twisting his glass. Thanks for coming. Really. She took a deep breath. There's something I have to tell you. Dad. He has cancer. Stage 3. Doctors say not much time left. The air froze. I looked at Nathan. Pale, but not totally shocked. Like he'd braced for this. Does he mention me? Nathan whispered. She shook her head, eyes down. Not once. Mom cries all the time, but Dad's stubborn. He says, his son is dead. Felt like a punch to my gut. Nathan didn't cry. Just stared out the rain-streaked window at neon reflections. Claire grabbed his hand. I don't agree with them. Never have. I just want you to know. At least I'm here. And I'm proud of you. He squeezed back, then looked at me. In his eyes, the fork in the road clear. Keep this new life. Let the past fade. Or go back one last time. To face the man who'd crushed him. To find his own closure, no matter the pain. That night walking home, Nathan was silent. Over the Brooklyn Bridge, wind biting cold. Back in the apartment, he collapsed on the couch, head in hands. What do you think I should do? He asked, exhausted. I sat, pulled him into my arms. You don't owe them anything, Nate. But if you need closure to be truly free, I'll go with you. Long silence. Then whisper. I need to see him one last time. Not to beg forgiveness. Just to tell him I survived without him. The train from New York to Boston is 4 hours, but it felt like a lifetime. Nathan by the window, staring at foggy fall fields, my hand locked in his. We barely talked. Every so often he'd squeeze, reminding me, and himself, he was still here, breathing, alive. I never thought I'd step foot in that house again. Last time I was the college friend on the porch, hearing cold words echo from inside. Now I walked in as Nathan's boyfriend, the temporary mistake in their eyes. The house unchanged. Red brick, perfect lawn, polished with smell, but heavier air, like invisible dust. Claire opened the door, hugged Nathan long, gave me a weak smile. Thanks for coming with him. His mom in the hallway, eyes red but dry. Polite nod to me, distant. His dad. In a hospital bed downstairs, oxygen humming, body wasted but eyes still sharp. Nathan paused at the door forever before going in. I stayed back, letting him know I'm right here. Hi, Dad, Nathan said, calm in a way that surprised me. He looked slow. Sit. Nathan pulled up a chair. I heard every word, even trying not to. Even now, sick like this, you haven't changed your mind about me, right? Nathan started direct. You still see me as a disappointment. Long pause. Raspy voice. I only wanted what's best for you. Best for me, or for the image you built? Nathan shot back. Not loud, but clear. I spent years trying to make you happy. The schools you picked, respectable scripts, dating the Harrington girl because she was suitable. I did it all, but no one ever asked what I wanted. His mom at the door, hand over mouth. Claire holding her. Nathan kept going, voice steady. I'm not here for your forgiveness. I'm here to tell you I'm doing great. I've got work, films, a partner who loves me for real. The guy out there who's been with me when you turned away. I'm happy, Dad. My kind of happy, not yours. His dad stared long. Nothing. Just the oxygen hum. Nathan stood. I don't expect you to change or acknowledge me now. I just want you to know I'm happy. And I've forgiven myself for trying to be the son you wanted. He walked out, straight into my arms. We didn't stay long. Hugged Claire again, nodded to his mom. Left. On the train back to New York, Nathan slept on my shoulder. I watched fields blur backward, past fading. He didn't cry. But when he woke, he looked at me and smiled. The lightest, freest smile I'd ever seen. The last weight dropped. Not from acceptance, but because Nathan gave himself permission to live. That New York winter was brutal cold, but our apartment stayed warm. Reflection finished strong. Went further than we dreamed. From small screenings to LGBTQ+ festivals in LA, Toronto, even picked up by a streaming platform. Congrats emails poured in. Reviews called it a love letter to healing. But for Nathan, the real win wasn't awards or views. It was finally sleeping through the night. One January evening, snow piling outside, we sat on the floor surrounded by papers, storyboards, 2 mugs of hot cocoa. Nathan on his laptop, typing slow like it was sacred. What you writing? I asked, chin on his shoulder. New script, he said, soft as falling snow. No closets this time, no toxic families, no painful coming outs. Just 2 guys meeting, falling in love, living together. Normal stuff. Arguing over who forgot milk. Adopting a rescue dog. That's it. I smiled, kissed his neck. Sounds like a dream. It's my dream now, he turned, eyes sparkling under warm light. I want to write a story where the characters don't have to fight to exist. They just live and love. Because I've fought enough. I pulled him up, led him to the window overlooking the city. Brooklyn glittering under snow, cars' slow lights below. We went to the roof, our spot for breathing, wind sharp, but we held tight. Nathan leaned on the railing, deep breath. You know, Leo, I used to think freedom meant running far from what hurt. But now I get it. Standing here with you, looking at this whole city, knowing no glass walls holding me back anymore. I tightened my arms around his waist. And I'll be here every day to remind you. We stayed forever, snow dusting our hair, shoulders. No more words needed. Life doesn't always give big cinematic happy endings. But this moment, quiet, warm, real, was ours. Nathan finished that script later. We shot it as a short, tiny budget, friends helping, right in our apartment in Brooklyn streets. No big awards. But people loved it for the simplicity. A love story that shines without tragedy. And us? We just kept living. Making films, bickering over chores, making up in bed, holding hands through crowded New York streets. Tough days still come. Old nightmares wake him sometimes. But I just hold him tighter. Because finally, we shattered that glass wall. And now we just get to live.